Right. Hi everyone. How are you doing today? You're welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Despite some of our technical challenges, it promises to be informative, and we will be sharing around relocation opportunities and exploring those opportunities for tech talents. You're welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. This is a good time to let your network know that the session has started. It's a good time to let your network know about the eMigr8 platform. If you haven't done so already, you want to download the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. It's available in both the Android and iOS store. We do apologize for starting this particular edition a little late. We would have our slides up in a few minutes as well, hopefully once the technical challenge is resolved, but we'll start the conversation anyway from this platform. So you're welcome to this edition. It's going to be a 1 hour or thereabouts journey where we'll be talking about tech-enabled visa opportunities. The thing is that there are several countries of the world that have made different visa opportunities available for people as long as they can show themselves as globally attractive. And this is what we look at from the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform perspective. But don't worry, even if you're an absolute beginner, meaning you've not done anything in the field of technology before now, you are welcome in the room because with our Tech Visa app, with our unique platform, you can actually have a roadmap for you to become globally attractive over a period of time. If you're already in the field of technology as well, and you've been doing a lot of work in the field of technology, this is also the right room to be in because we'll be sharing with you opportunities, some of which you may not have been aware of before now. But more importantly, we'll be sharing with you how to explore and take advantage of those opportunities. Not just on this session today, but this is what our entire platform is built about. So you're welcome. And for those that are startup founders, you've built a bunch of tech startups, you've raised money before, and so on, you're welcome as well because we have very, very valuable information for you. And if you are currently preparing your application for one tech-enabled visa opportunity or the other, you're welcome as well because we have a lot of information that will be useful for you. It's at least 1 hour for this session today. And as I mentioned, or I will mention, if you wait till the end of this session, we do have a gift for you. We will be talking about different visa opportunities today, and we're hoping that you would have questions. Some of the questions you ask us will help us focus this session on your own unique circumstance. And so if you can, please drop your questions in the chat. If you already have questions from the community and all, you can start dropping your questions. But as we go through the presentation today, as we talk about the different routes that we believe you should be aware of and you should think about, you should plan for, you should explore to check if this is viable for you, you could also have questions. Please drop them in the chat as well. You're welcome to eMigr8 Open Day. This open day, we're focused on exploring relocation opportunities for tech talents. That's what we're focused on today. During the session as well, if you wait till the end, as I mentioned, there's a gift for you. If you haven't done so already, please download the eMigr8 Tech Visa app because with the eMigr8 Tech Visa app, a number of the opportunities we'll be talking about are explored on that app, and a number of the opportunities that we're talking about are opportunities that you would be able to leverage on by using the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. eMigr8 Open Day we've done many of these sessions and there's a lot of information that we've shared over the years on the eMigr8 Open Day. We've had different coaches that focused on different visa routes come on the platform and share from the wealth of their experience. We don't offer immigration advice or legal advice directly on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform. What we do is share from experiences, from background, and so on for different visa opportunities. We do our partnerships with lawyers, we do our partnerships with immigration consultants and the like. As such, if you need those services, we can refer you to some of our partners. But that's not our unique selling point on the eMigr8 visa platform. Say that because there are several resources that are available to you based on the fact that we've done this for several months now, and we've been able to share a lot of information about the likes of the Australia Global Talent Visa, the UK Global Talent Visa, the Canada Startup Visa, the US O1 Visa, and you can name it, the French Tech Visa, the German Blue Card EU Visa. And there are several different opportunities that we have shared a wealth of information on, and we feel like it will be useful to you. The best place to start is the eMigr8 community YouTube page, but you could also look in the various eMigr8 communities. In addition, we recently started doing a beta testing of the eMigr8 Visa app. It's already available in the stores. And this is where you can go to as well yourself to start exploring these different visa opportunities. You're welcome in the room. I would also mention that as regards the eMigr8 platform, the eMigr8 community is available to you for you to explore. eMigr8 app, as I've mentioned, is available. And we also do different coaching sessions that are also available for you to explore. It gets better because most of what we do on the eMigr8 platform, we actually do at no cost to you. We run a freemium model on this platform. And what that means is that many of the things that we do for free at no cost to you. We do charge a premium for some services, but at least 80% of what we do on this platform, we actually do at no cost to you. And so make the best use of the opportunity available, particularly if you're in one circumstance or the other, where eMigr8 visa can help. But I'll speak a little bit about what we are and why eMigr8 does exist. Because it's important for you to understand why we're doing what we're doing. It's important for you to understand why many of the coaches on the eMigr8 platform, why they dedicate their time to this objective. What we do on the eMigr8 platform is to help you as an individual become globally attractive talent. And that's what we do. And yes, it's true that a number of people are in this room because you are interested in one visa opportunity or the other. That's true. But what I would like to mention is that if you are globally attractive, those visa opportunities are a natural side effect of being globally attractive. And the reason is very simple. Many forward-thinking countries of the world have made different visas available to say, come to our jurisdiction if you can add value to our jurisdiction. They are not doing you a favor. Those visa opportunities are not there because they really want to help you as an individual. Those opportunities are there because those countries of the world realize that if you are allowed to move, relocate, and settle in their jurisdiction, you will be a net contributor to their economy. And that's why those visa opportunities are there. I mentioned some of them earlier, like the UK Global Talent Visa, like the US O1 visa, the EB1 visa, several of them. They want you, the countries, they want you to bring your innovation. They want you to bring your ideas. They want you to bring your skill, your expertise, your talent, your experience to their jurisdiction. And they're happy for you to move with your family. They're happy for you to move yourself and move everything around you to their jurisdiction because they know they are better off for it. Talent is the new oil. And that's what we hope that you are informed and inspired about, first of all, on the eMigr8 visa platform. to understand that if only you do become globally attractive, you have those options. And you have options of staying in your own country and contributing globally. You have options of working in anywhere you want to in the world remotely. You have options of moving to a different country and contributing both to your own economy or to that new country you've moved to. So several options are available to you because you are not just a mere immigrant at that point. You are an expatriate. And it's very funny how, for many people, when you think about yourself, you don't think about yourself from using the word expatriate. Because sometimes when you hear expatriate, you are expecting people moving from developed economies to developing economies, then expatriates. But that's not true. If you look at the definition of expatriate, it also captures even if you are moving from developing to developed or from a developed to another developed country. There are different people in the room that fall into any one of those three categories. This is what we explore on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform. And this is what we hope to be able to help you achieve in terms of helping you achieve your objective on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform. Hopefully the slides should be up now. So just one moment while we bring the slide up. All right, fantastic. And for many of us in the room, we're interested in one visa opportunity or the other. And that's what we're going to be drilling down into during this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. We're hoping that you would have questions, and those questions will lead us into a conversation. And those conversations may become valuable, not just for yourself, but for other people in the room and other people watching the replay video after. Don't forget, I mentioned that if you wait till the end of this session, we do have a gift for you. If you wait till the end of this session. And so you are welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Today, we'll cover quite a number of things, as I've mentioned earlier, and we would also talk about some of the products that we do have that would be able to help your journey. If you haven't done so already, where you want to start from is the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. That's where you want to start from. Download the app because it is absolutely, absolutely useful for your journey. Download the app. We also have a package on the eMigr8 platform, which is called the Settle in the UK as a Tech Talent. If you're looking to relocate to the UK, or you've already moved to the UK and you are exploring a pathway to settlement, you may want to look at this package. And this is beginner friendly. Even if you're an absolute beginner in the field of technology, this package is available to you. This is a package that enables you to move with your spouse and dependents. This is a package that is available to you, whether you're an absolute beginner or never even done anything in the field of tech before. But if you've already done some things in tech, whether on the business side of technology or on the technical side of technology, then you even have a better advantage using this pathway and this package for your journey for relocation and settlement, or in some people's case, for your journey for settlement in the UK. If you're interested in that, you can contact the details on the screen. I'll just mention that in terms of editions of eMigr8 Open Day, we've done several editions and we intend to still do many editions of eMigr8 Open Day covering different visa opportunity or the other. eMigr8 Services covers information and inspiration. We do have the Tech Visa app that we've mentioned. We help with coaching and handholding. And as I mentioned, we run a freemium model. Most of what we do is free, but then we also charge a premium for some of our services as well. So on the free side is this session we're having at the moment, which is the eMigr8 Open Day, but we have several others, including specific office hours for specific visa opportunities. We have opportunities like even short coaching sessions where you can have a one-to-one session with an eMigr8 coach discussing your own unique circumstance. The only thing we would say is that don't waste that session. You get only a limited number of sessions, usually one session free of charge. We expect, as coaches on the platform, we expect that you've gone through all the other free resources. We expect that you've done your own research on the specific visa opportunity that you are interested in. We expect that you've looked at all the information that we've shared. And when you do all of that, you may still have questions. In fact, you will still have questions because there's a lot of information out there. This is where those free coaching sessions then become useful because the coach, understanding your unique circumstance, is able to give feedback, opinion, advice, and coaching based on your own unique circumstance. And no two individuals are the same, not even twins. And so please bear that in mind in terms of if you're booking a coaching session, we are expecting as coaches on the platform, you've gone through everything else available to you, and you're coming with questions that you could not simply have Googled. So don't come and say, what is UK Global Talent Visa? Google it. Ask questions that is well researched and that is around your own unique circumstance. On the premium side, we've got premium coaching sessions as well that is able to help your journey should you need it. And we do have packages that are able to help for one visa opportunity or the other. Some of the packages available on the eMigr8 platform includes move to the UK as a global talent, and that's focused on the UK global talent visa. We've got moved to the US as a global talent, and that focuses on the US O1 visa. And more recently, we introduced a US EB1 visa as well, EB2 NIW, and also EB1 visa on the platform. If you have a UK master's, for example, you are likely to qualify for the EB2 NIW. Likely, particularly if you already have transferable skills or experiences in the past. And so we explored that on the platform. Recently, we also have and as I mentioned, the UK, settle in the UK as a tech talent is one of the packages available on the platform. And recently, we're introducing the UK self-sponsorship route as yet another route for you to explore, particularly for people in the UK or people looking to move to the UK, using the UK self-sponsorship route. So it's the UK skilled worker visa, but for self-employed individuals. It's called self-sponsorship, and that's something we'll be talking about a lot more on the eMigr8 platform in the coming months. eMigr8 community, if you want to, you can take a screenshot of this because it gives you links to the different communities. WhatsApp is our most active community as of today, but we're working very hard to make sure that every single community is as vibrant as our WhatsApp community. If you are not yet able to join the WhatsApp community, join the other channels first. And then the community administrators can decide whether or not they can admit you into the WhatsApp community, because it's a more guarded community and we want much more serious-minded people within that community. And so if you're in any one of the eMigr8 communities, engage, share, like, comment, give feedback, help other people, answer questions. If somebody asks a question that you have the answer to, answer those questions as well. Because what we are trying to build is a community that can help each other. And so there are coaches in every one of our communities that also have information. But in addition, every single community member can help and add value to the community. eMigr8 Tech Visa app is the one-stop shop for everything you need for your tech-enabled visa opportunity journey. The app would have in the near future, it would have a lot more features. But as of today, we have a lot of eMigr8 information, content, and so on. We're able to help with the eMigr8 roadmap, with tasks and so on, eMigr8 packages, and several other features already in the app today. And so we encourage you to download that app and do give us feedback. If you have any challenges, do let us know. We have not fully launched the app. It's still in beta at the moment. It's still in beta. And what that means is that we expect that there will be bugs. And as those bugs are there, and you're letting us know about those bugs, we get them fixed. We will all be better off for it. And we are able to help a lot more people faster. The eMigr8 Tech Visa app is actually free. It's also part of us running our freemium model. And what that means is that you are able to also get a lot of freebies on that platform. One of the freebies that you can get on the platform today is that if you are able to achieve a 7-day streak on the app, you get a free short coaching session. And so that is on. It's limited to a number of people. But if you're interested and you would like additional coaching sessions, if you've exhausted the other available means of getting coaching session, this is yet another way you can get access to a coaching session on the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. And so we hope that all of this would be useful for you. We hope that all of this would be helping your journey towards becoming globally attractive. eMigr8 is a product or was incubated by a company called Bincom Dev Center. And I will spend a few minutes just talking about some of the services of Bincom Dev Center in this segment. First one I'll talk about is the Bincom Global Tech Program. And this is extremely useful for you if you're trying to start your journey in the field of technology. Extremely useful. If, however, you're already in your journey in tech, and you feel like you're at the intermediate level and you are seeing some gaps in your profile, this program is also absolutely useful. The program helps with 3 key pillars. You learn skills, you gain experience, and you gain exposure in the field of technology. If you're interested in that, the link is bincom.net/global tech. And this is a subset of that program. The full program is 1 to 2 years. However, we have subset of the program that is just 3 months that helps you to move from one stage to the next. So for example, if you're an absolute beginner, it helps you to move from that to newbie or beginner or intermediate level. And then if you're a beginner, it helps you to move to intermediate level, something along those lines. And that helps your journey towards landing a tech talent visa as well. Because most of the visa opportunities we will talk about and most of the visa opportunities that are available, I didn't say all, I said most, are only available when you go past the beginner level in the field of tech. And so when you talk about the skilled worker visa, it's named that for a reason because you need to be skilled. And when they say skilled, they're not just talking about you learning the skill theoretically. You need to have the right experience and the right exposure as well. This program helps with that. And it helps with even things like references from a company, UK company for today, but we are working very hard to expand this to other countries and continents as well. The next program I'll talk about is our mentoring platform. And this we're calling to people who are already established in the field of technology. If you're already established in the field of technology, you're at an advanced level in your skill, one of the things that you can do to help you show that you're globally attractive is by mentoring. But if you notice, for 2 visa opportunities, and many more will have a similar requirement in the future. So with the UK Global Talent Visa, with the USO1 visa, you have to do that mentoring on a structured platform. And there are many reasons for that. And this platform is one of such structured platforms that can help your journey. It's an highly competitive platform. We are not able to bring every single person that applies to be a mentor onto the platform. We need to mention that because some people have asked us to say, well, I applied, but they didn't select me. We can't take every single person. So very competitive. But the first step is to apply to become a mentor. We're inviting you, if you're highly experienced, to apply to become a mentor on the Bincom mentoring platform. And this is for aspiring startup founders in the room. Labs by Bincom. If you're an aspiring startup founder, which means that you are trying to build startup experience, you would like to have a startup in your portfolio, you would like to learn how to build a startup. The best way to learn is to actually build a startup. And what Labs by Bincom does is to help you do that in a structured environment. It's a 3 to 6 months program. We bring a few people who are also interested in building a startup together. We're able to bring them in connection with mentors, with the company's programs, and so on, to help you build a startup. But it's not just theory, because whatever it is you are building, you will have the idea, which is the first stage. You will build the actual product. It has to be a tech-enabled product, which is innovative, viable, and scalable. There's a reason for that. And you will actually take that product to the market for real-life customers to start using your product within the span of the program. And so if that sounds like something that you need, the link to go to is bincom.net/labs. That's the link you want to go to for you to then apply for that particular program. The last one I'll talk about is the tech career coaching service. And this is directly connected, like all the other programs I've mentioned, to our eMigr8 tech visa service, because one of the visa opportunities that we talk about very much on this platform is the skilled worker visa for the UK, for example. And with the UK skilled worker visa, what you need would be something like our tech career coaching service. But it's not only focused on you if you're looking for a visa opportunity. It's also focused on people who already have a right to work in the UK and they are trying to switch their career, or they are trying to build on top of what they already have, or they are trying to get to the next stage in their journey. And with this service, it helps you get to land your next role faster. That's what we talk about on this service. And we do that with a combination of introduction to technical recruiter, review of profile, coaching, hand-holding, and several other services with AutoJobServe. It's also tech-enabled, so there are different solutions that we use, walking you through the different stages of the recruitment process, and also helping you land a job that comes with work visa sponsorship. This is only available in the UK today, but we are working very hard to bring it to other countries near you as well. This is the slide we will spend most of today's conversation on. I'll just give a quick touch on it as at this moment, but we're coming back to this slide today because that's going to be our main focus for our conversation today. Don't forget, we mentioned that if you have questions, please drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. We would not have the opportunity to unmute, to come on live, to ask live questions, unlikely to during this session today. And so if you have questions, do drop it in the chat and we'll be able to take as many questions as possible. So this is the slide that we will spend most of the time on. And this slide sort of gives you an overview of the landscape in terms of different tech-enabled visa opportunities, that can help you in one way or the other. Depending on if you're a startup founder, if you're a talent, if you are interested in work-based or employment-based opportunities, and so on. But as I mentioned, we're going to spend a lot more time on that slide today. The lowest common denominator for all these opportunities that we've mentioned is that be globally attractive. If you are globally attractive, you would have options. And this is what we help you to do on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform. On the platform today, we focus on most visa opportunities we focus on, I didn't say all, most, are visa opportunities that have a pathway to settlement. In some cases, the pathway will be a direct pathway to settlement, but in a few cases, it may be an indirect pathway to settlement. But most of what we focus on are visa opportunities that have a pathway to settlement. We focus on opportunities where you can move with your family and settle with your family in your destination. And we also focus on opportunities where, as a beginner, you can plan. So don't say, I don't qualify today. That's the end of the story. No. Listen to us carefully. We're saying to you that even if you do not qualify today, you may qualify in 2 weeks' time, in 3 weeks' time, if you are doing the right things. The question is, do you know the right things you need to do so that in 2 weeks' time, in a year's time, you won't come back and still find out I'm still not qualified? First thing, obviously, is to know what you need to do. But the second thing is also to take action. All of this is what we've put into the eMigr8 Tech Visa app now. And with the eMigr8 platform itself, helping with the coaching, with the community, and everything that is involved to help you at no cost to you. It doesn't get better than that. But somebody asked, and this is the eMigr8 Tech Visa landscape. This is also available to you. And what we did with this landscape was that the team did a research last year, and we're currently working on this year's edition as well of the tech visa landscape to look at the different visa opportunities available to you out there, particularly for tech talent, to look at what are their conditions, what are the requirements, what is the qualification criteria, what is the cost of it, how can a beginner qualify, what is a roadmap towards qualification, how is it possible to settle with this visa opportunity or maybe associated visa opportunities towards settlement. All of this is what the team put together as the eMigr8 Tech Visa landscape. And it's available to you on the link, or you can get it access to it through the eMigr8 app. If you noticed, I've been talking about the app, and so hopefully you wouldn't leave this call without downloading and registering on the app. As I've said to you, if you feel like you don't yet qualify, what you should be doing is to start a journey towards qualification. That journey may take a couple of weeks, it may take a couple of months, but there is a journey you can undertake for most of the visa opportunities that we are talking about. And if you are doing that journey, whether you're doing it yourself, we call it DIY approach. We have a lot of free resources and a lot of resources that can help you. Or if you are interested in some of our premium services as well, which incorporates more handholding, more coaching, that is also available to you. We want to help you become globally attractive. That's our underlying objective. So we're asking you to please take us up on this offer. Engage with us, engage with the pathway, engage with the roadmap, engage with everything that you need for you to become globally attractive. This platform is available for you. If you need help, we are also here to help. And you can also talk to us at no cost to you. You have to book through the process, and that booking is moving into the eMigr8 Visa app as well. So part of the way you are able to book a call now is going to be through the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. If you need help, for example, if you've applied for the UK Technician Visa and you got rejected, what you would need to do is to speak with us. Sorry about that. Yeah, what you can do is speak with us, because in some cases, people get rejected, not because they are not qualified, but because they did not put the best possible application forward. We help with the roadmap, we help with the review, and you can start by talking to us at no cost to you. So you're welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. As I mentioned, we will be focusing on this slide today. But I'm just going to take a quick break now for just a few moments. While we do that, if you haven't done so already, the link to the eMigr8 Tech Visa app is already in the chat. My colleague dropped it a moment ago. Can you use that link, download the app, register for the app while we wait? I've also left this slide up. Because we will be having a conversation with this slide today. And we would also be taking as many questions as possible from the chat. So if you have questions about any visa opportunity, any visa pathway, anything that you brought into the room, please drop them in the chat. As I mentioned, we would not have the opportunity to invite you on stage to speak. And so please just type the question and we'll take as many of these questions as possible. You're welcome again to eMigr8 Open Day. And if you wait till the end of this session, we do have a gift for you. We'll be right back. All right. So we're back. And what I'm going to do now, before we then drill down into the slide that I mentioned, is just to take questions that we have so far in the chat. And I assume that we would have more questions as we go on with this eMigr8 Open Day. But we'll take the questions that we've got in the chat so far, and then we would continue to expect more questions. And we would also drill down into that slide I've mentioned, which is focused on your routes as a tech talent to multiple countries of the world. So one of the questions I see here says, what are the documents needed for the tech visa process? So the challenge with what you've asked is that there are several different visas. On the eMigr8 platform alone, we support at the moment about 30, 20 something different visa opportunities, not up to 30, just a little less than 30 different visa opportunities. These are visa opportunities where we have coaches that are very knowledgeable on those routes. And we have people, in some cases, some of those coaches have gone through those visa routes themselves. So in the UK alone, eMigr8 supports over 5 different visa routes, visa opportunities, for example. Every one of these visa opportunity has different requirements because there are different reasons why those visas are available. And we'll get into that in the next slide. So it's easier for you to say maybe a specific visa opportunity, and then we would have a conversation around it. If your question, however, is general, to say, oh, I'm not sure what visa I qualify for, and what I'm just interested in at the moment is just what are the different opportunities and what should I be generally prepping. What our general advice then is that ensure you become globally attractive. Whatever it is that your hand finds to do, do it well, basically. Ensure that you become globally attractive, and that gives you lots and lots and lots of options. All right. And so for the person that sent this, if you can let us know which one are you talking about, it would help. Somebody is talking about the WhatsApp community. So the WhatsApp community is a gated community at the moment. Somebody on the team, one of the community managers, would interact with you just to ensure that you understand what we are doing on the eMigr8 visa platform before they let you into the community. So please exercise a little bit of patience in case they haven't gotten to you yet. You can apply in the waiting room, but it's a gated community because we are trying to ensure that it's the most active community that we've got. And we want to make sure that the value, it's always valuable for every member of that community. And a number of our coaches are also in that community. You can join other communities though, because part of our aspiration on this platform is that we're trying to ensure every single community we have communities in 6 different social media platforms today. We're working on making sure every single one of them is as vibrant, as active, and as valuable to each individual as the WhatsApp community is today. And so if you're in any one of those communities, including YouTube, you can actually engage there. You can ask questions, you can make comments, you can share, you can like, and all of those things that you would do in a typical community. Hold for a moment, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. All right. Next question I see here is WhatsApp community. Yeah, so I've answered that. Can you share this overview, please? Yes, you can take a screenshot when we send the slide. Sorry, we don't send slides. When we put up the slide again, you can take a screenshot, and also you can look at the tech visa landscape. That slide is actually on the landscape as well. The last question I'll take before we go back to our slides is how long before you can apply again after an endorsement is refused? So I'm guessing this person is talking about the UK Global Talent Visa. That's my guess. You can apply the next day. And we actually have one success who applied, got rejected. We worked with the person with just a little bit of adjustment, and within 72 hours or so, the person reapplied, and then the person got endorsed. So you can actually apply immediately. What we would encourage you to do, however, is take in whatever feedback has been given to you. It is feedback at the end of the day. That feedback may be positive, it may be negative, but it's still feedback. Now, because you've not been endorsed, it's probably a negative feedback, but you have an opportunity for something called an endorsement review with the UK Global Talent Visa. Use that as well. So if you feel like the assessors the assessors made a mistake, the assessors did not take into consideration some things that you feel like were important to be considered, you can deal with that using the endorsement review process. The only thing is that you cannot add new documents in that endorsement review process. You will only have to depend on the documents you already have. But something that some people fail to realize is that even though you submitted a document in category A, you can also depend on it on category B that they did not give you or you didn't get endorsed under. So for example, if you submitted a document under MC1, for those that are applying for the UK Global Talent Visa, they know what I'm talking about. For those that don't, when you do your research, you understand what I mean by MC1, OC1, and so on, mandatory criteria 1. If you submitted something under mandatory criteria 1, and they gave you mandatory criteria 1, but they didn't give you optional criteria 3, which is significant contribution or impact, you may be able to depend on some of those documents to say, you should have considered this and this and this for giving me and endorsing me under that optional criteria as well. If, however, the feedback they've given you is not something defensible, then maybe what you should do is not bother with the endorsement review process and do a new application. In any case, you may want to speak with one of the eMigr8 coaches. They offer 10 minutes to 15 minutes at no cost to you, where they can give you some insights into your application. And there are a number of coaches on the eMigr8 platform that can help with that. You're welcome again to everyone. And for those just joining us, you're welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. We're trying a new format today. So hopefully we'll like feedback as well. What you think about this new format of eMigr8 Open Day for our regular community members. And for those joining eMigr8 Open Day for the first time, you can give us feedback as well to let us know what you thought about this session. Was it valuable to you? Was it useful to you? Are there ways in which we can improve? If you haven't done so already, don't forget to download the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. I'll keep saying it until you confirm that you've downloaded and you've installed and you've registered and you've started using it. We believe it's the next big thing in helping your journey. Also, we mentioned that if you wait till the end of this session, we have a gift for you. I'll be sharing screen again in a moment. And if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. We'll be taking questions from the chat at this point. We will not be able to ask you to come live to ask your question as we would in an open coaching session. So we'll be right back, and I'm going to put up that slide again in a moment. Thank you. All right. So as I mentioned, today's edition was around exploring global relocation opportunities for tech talent. And what we will be speaking to is this slide that you've got in front of you. What we've done within the eMigr8 platform is to look at the different visa opportunities available. And we were able to see that there were relationships between many of these visa opportunities. We were able to put them into 5 key categories. It's around startup or being self-employed. It's around being global talent. It's around employment-based or work-based. There are some temporary or digital nomad visas, and then finally others. Now, the point we're making is that for every country of the world, many forward-thinking countries of the world, they typically have a visa opportunity or the other for every one of these categories. And so we would use the example of the UK UK and Canada, for example. With the UK, we used to be called the UK Startup Visa, but it's currently called the UK Innovator Founder Visa. You'll find out in the startup category. And this is for startup founders who are able to have an idea that is adjudged as innovative, viable, and scalable. Notice I said idea. Your startup does not need to have actually started. However, there are some nuances to it that we talk about on the eMigr8 platform. The Canada Startup Visa, however, it has to be at a stage where your startup has to be at a stage where you've already gained traction elsewhere, most likely your own economy. And then what you're saying to Canada is that this startup that has gained traction elsewhere, we are now ready to take it global. That's when the Canada Startup Visa is available to you. And so if you get that, what we are trying to say is that these are two different visa opportunities at different stages, depending on what stage your company is at and what stage, what country you are interested in moving to as well. And we could look at multiple examples that way, but what we thought would be useful today is just to help you understand the lay of the land. Help you understand what are these opportunities available. And then, of course, if you have questions, we can drill into one opportunity or the other. We'll continue the conversation within the eMigr8 community as well. And so that's what we wanted to do today. And so I will start with the talent visas. And with the talent visas, these visas are available if you are able to show that you are an individual with extraordinary ability. If you are able to show that you're a global talent. If you are able to show that you are globally attractive. And different countries of the world have different measures of what they mean when they say that. For example, with the Australia Global Talent Visa, they are very biased towards you having higher degrees. They are biased towards you having a PhD in advanced study in different skills and very rare skills. So like neuroscience, like cybersecurity, and so on. So if you have some of those advanced degrees, you have a better chance. If you earn a very high salary, so if you're earning maybe $150K, $200K, you have a very high chance with that particular visa opportunity, the Australia Global Talent. Meanwhile, with the UK Global Talent Visa, for the field of digital technology this time, it's also called the Technician Visa, you have a very high chance if you work in or you are one of the key players in a highly successful product-led digital technology. With the US O1 visa, it's also similar, but they would like to see things like published materials as well. They would like to see you appearing in newspapers. They would like to see you winning awards, similar to the UK Global Talent Visa. But all of this, the common denominator for that visa category is that if you are able to show that you are a leading talent in your field, meaning that if I were to line up 10 business analysts, I would be top one or top two or top three of those 10. Then this visa may be for you. Of course, different categories and different requirements per country. And so which one of these do you feel like you would be interested in? Could you drop that in the chat? And if I see a coalition of people, we may speak a bit more about that if we have time. One thing I will say about this category is that please and please and please don't think that, oh, because I haven't won a Nobel Prize or an equivalent of a Nobel Prize in my field, then I do not qualify. That is not true. But also, even if it was to say, oh, you need to win awards, there are different things that you can do to improve your chances of winning awards. There are different things you can do to improve your chances of being invited to speak on high-profile stages. There are different things you can do to be able to set yourself apart from the next person in your field, in your expert field. And so that's one category to look at. The next category would be the startup one. And recently, we're introducing something called the UK self-sponsorship routes into the startup category for the UK for people who would like to be self-employed in the UK and would like to move to the UK. The actual visa would be the UK skilled worker visa, but you are getting the skilled worker visa for your own business, and then your business will sponsor your visa in the UK. And so if you're in the UK already, or you're trying to move to the UK, this may be a route you want to explore. We will be having an open day. The next open day we have, we're actually going to drill down into the UK startup category. So we'll be talking about two visa opportunities there. We'll be talking about the UK Innovator Founder Visa. We will also be talking about the UK self-sponsorship route as two routes that you may look at if you are looking to move to the UK, or you are looking to settle in the UK, or your visa is about to expire and you are interested in a new option of staying in the UK. Make sure you have the information. You can then decide if this is for you or not. But with the startup category, we're talking about different countries of the world that have made different visas available in the startup category. These visas are usually available to you for you to start something, a business, or bring a business to that economy. Their calculation is that your business will grow and your business will employ people in addition to yourself. They will, which means that the government is taking one of their own KPIs, which is job creation. So you're helping them. They're not doing you a favor. In addition to that, for many countries, they are interested in high growth companies, companies that have a potential of growing very quickly. And in some cases, companies that have a potential of exporting something. So they are able to earn foreign income. Different visas fall into this category. The IEP for the US, the UK Startup Visa, well, it's currently called the UK Innovator Founder Visa, the Canada Startup Visa. There's also the French Tech Visa for entrepreneurs. All of these fall into that category to say, if you have an idea, if you want to start a business, if you're able to raise capital, raise investment, you can go to their jurisdiction to build your company. Nuances would be some of them are available with just idea, and we'll be speaking with one of our successes with the French Tech Visa in the coming months of eMigr8 Open Day. Some of them are available on an idea basis, but some are only available after you've built up your idea and you are now at a stage where you want to scale to additional countries. The next category are employment-based. And so I would ask as well for this category, which one would be of interest to you? I talked about a few visas and there are a few more on the screen as well. So in this category, which one would be of interest to you? The next category are work or employment-based visas. And in this category, you would have the likes of the UK skilled worker visa, You will have the likes of the H1 B1 visa in the US. There's the EB1 visa that is actually employment based as well, but it has a really strange differential because if I were to put it, I'll put it in the middle of both talent and employment based because you wouldn't get it without being a talent yourself, right? And so different visa opportunities are there in that category. With these ones, what you will need to do is to land a job that will sponsor your visa. And so it means that the first thing to do before you can get that visa is to actually land a job with an with an employer that is able to sponsor your visa. And then when you land that job, the employer is then able to sponsor your visa. For some countries, they have a cap of the number of such visas they can issue every year. Some countries don't. For some countries, it's easy for an employer to get that license to sponsor an employee. Some countries, it is not as easy. But the long and short of it is that if you are able to land those rules, then you are able to get work visa sponsorship. This is available whether you are already in that country, which means that you need a sponsorship within the country itself, or if you are moving from your home country. We have a number of successes on the eMigr8 platform where they got the job from their home country and the company that hired them actually paid for their relocation. The company that hired them actually paid for their visa application. So we are not talking theory. We are talking about successes we've had on this platform for both the UK and also Germany as well. Visas in this category, we've mentioned UK skilled worker visa, the German employment visa. There's the German blue card visa, but that also will be in the middle of talent and employment based. And there are several of those available. So different visas, which is of interest to you of those ones. The next category are temporary visas, and don't discount this because one of the ways of relocating and settling in a different country could be that you may want to use an intermediate visa first. And then once you move to that country, or maybe a different country from your home country, then you may then be able to move again. And so you are taking two steps rather than one. It may be a bit harder, it may be a bit more inconvenient, but it may be easier for some people to do their journey that way. I'll give you an example of Germany. Germany offers a job seeker visa that you can get as long as you have the money required in terms of you need to have some money in your account and you need to have the expert skill that they're expecting. You can actually move to Germany for 6 months, up to a year, because you can renew for another 6 months. And you are betting on yourself to say when you get to Germany, you will be able to find a job that will sponsor your visa. And many people have found successes that way. There are also digital nomad visas, and many countries of the world, almost every European country has a digital nomad visa or the other, where when you move to their country, you are not allowed to work locally. You are only able to work remotely. So it means that you are paying taxes in their jurisdiction, but you're actually earning income from outside their jurisdiction. But guess what? It's easier to apply for some other visas of some other Western countries if you do that. And one of the eMigr8 community member will be talking to, will be telling you in a subsequent open day around the journey to Estonia and also subsequent journey out of Estonia to a different country. So this is also a category that you should not discount, even though it doesn't give you a direct pathway to settlement. It gives you options of things that you can possibly do in terms of if you are serious and it's a case of you want to move immediately, not that you want to spend a bit more time planning your journey. And then we've got others, a category for others to say any other visa that we support that doesn't fit into any of this category, it goes into the category of other. But I've spent a lot of time because we only have about 15 minutes more for this session. We'll just ask at this point then to say what visa opportunities are of interest to you. What questions do you have about this visa opportunity? For many people, what we advise you to do is now that you know these visas, Google them. Go to the official immigration site for these visa opportunities, read all of the information about it. Use the eMigr8 app as well, because we are building a lot of information into the eMigr8 app to help your journey. Ensure that you have all the information needed. Don't discount yourself to say, oh, I don't yet qualify. You can also speak with an eMigr8 coach to say, oh, what do you think about this? This is what I have at the moment. This is what I'm thinking about. What do you think? All of that is available to you on the eMigr8 platform to help you with your journey and to help you with your dream of relocation and or settlement. And so that's what we wanted to share in terms of this slide. We wanted to see, make sure that you are aware. And for every one of these opportunities that we spent some time talking about today, for every one of these opportunities, we have customized roadmaps that is able to help that journey from stage 0 to say nothing at all to the point where you qualify. It will take some time in some cases, maximum 2 years for the maximum one we have at the moment. But there is a method to many of these to say, even if you don't have anything at all today and you're working towards qualifying, there's a journey you can take towards getting there. And that's what we focus on eMigr8 platform. We help individuals become globally attractive talents. For those just joining, you're welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. We're on the last leg of this edition now. I'm going to be taking questions from the chat. I would also be announcing the gift that we had mentioned as regards if you waited to this stage of this eMigr8 Open Day session. So you're welcome again. Thank you for everyone. I'm going back to the chat now to take some more questions. And the next question I've got here, hopefully I've not skipped any, I'm just making sure. Yes, so I haven't skipped any. So the next question I've got here says, do I need to have a research publication for global talent? What qualifies someone to be classified as having international experience? So I would assume this is UK Global Talent. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that can give me any clue to it. Yeah, let me assume this is UK Global Talent as well. Do you need to have any research publication? The answer is no, right? With the UK Global Talent for Digital Technology, which is also known as Technician Visa, there are 5 categories. Of those 5 categories, one of them is mandatory, which is called the mandatory criteria, MC1. You need to show that you're a leading talent. And there are different ways you can show that. In addition to that, there are 4 optional criteria. Out of those 4 optional criteria, you only need to qualify under 2 of the 4 optional criteria. So if you're counting, it makes a total of 3 criteria that you must fulfill, mandatory criteria, and then 2 optional criteria. Now, one of the optional criteria, which is not one that you must fulfill, is something that is along the lines of academic excellence. With the whole academic excellence, part of what you have to show or that you may need to show will be things like your research publication, things like citations of your paper, things like the kinds of research you've done. So people that have done a PhD, for example, those are common people that would use that criteria because they have a bunch of research papers and so on. If you are not in that category, then you have other options. You have 3 other criteria that you can look at. OC1, which is around proof of innovation, OC2, which is around proof of recognition, OC3, which is around proof of significant contribution or impact. So you have those options. You don't have to limit yourself to say, I don't have research papers, so therefore I don't qualify. Hopefully I answered your question, but if I didn't, then maybe you want to clarify a bit more in the comments. Next question is, what are the requirements for the UK Global Talent Visa? So I've just answered that question in answering the other one. The requirement for UK Global Talent Visa is there are 5, and then you need to qualify under 3 out of the 5 criteria. I mentioned it just a moment ago. And you can look more on the Technician Visa guide. With the UK Global Talent Visa, though, they are biased towards you being in product-led digital technology company. And if you go check the guide, there's a specific explanation of what it means to be in a product-led digital technology company. Spoiler alerts, if you are working in a consultancy, you will likely not qualify under the product-led digital technology definition. But there's a method to this as well. Particularly if your consultancy was working on a product, right? And we can explain that depending on your circumstance. Next question I see here. How long does it take to go through this journey, irrespective of the visa? I already have experience in the tech world with transferable skills, especially someone in the UK. There are so many nuances to this question that I wouldn't know, right? The typical timeline would be 3 months to 6 months, but it could be as long as 2 years, particularly if you are doing it yourself. But let me answer the question using one of our own premium packages. So don't forget, as I've mentioned within eMigr8 platform, we do a lot of things for free. We do have some premium services as well and premium packages. So I'm going to use a premium package that we are currently marketing to answer this question. This is not the only way. You can also look at the different free services we do offer as well. One of our premium services is called the eMigr8 Settle in the UK as a Tech Talent package. With that package, what we do is that we look at you and then we design a unique roadmap for you that will help you qualify under 3 visa opportunities: the UK Global Talent Visa, the UK Skilled Worker Visa, the UK Innovator Founder Visa, and recently the UK Self-Sponsorship route. We offer an eMigr8 guarantee, a triple guarantee for that route, to say we will only earn most of our fee at the point of your success. In terms of the timeline, you will need to have a minimum of 3 months, minimum, because there's a lot to do, because we are not just saying you will just qualify for the visa. You would actually become globally attractive, because we are looking at you to say, what have you done in the past? What are you doing currently? And if you were not limited by a visa, what would you be doing? What would you like to do in the future? All of this will be incorporated into the roadmap that will be personalized, built for you. And that roadmap is what the company would then handhold you, coach, work with you, do a lot of the work for you, and so on, till you are qualified for that visa opportunity, one visa opportunity or the other, offering the eMigr8 guarantee. So hopefully that answers your question, but if you give more context, it will be helpful. And then this is something you could also discuss during an eMigr8 coaching session. We offer some short coaching session at no cost to you. And this is a good time to just talk about the gift we mentioned, to say, if you were on this session till this time, you get a gift. And also, if you were watching the replay video and you've watched to this point, you also get the same gift. And the gift is an eMigr8 short coaching session. The way to redeem the gift is go to any one of the eMigr8 communities and then send on that community to say you were part of the eMigr8 Open Day of today and you've won the eMigr8 short coaching session free. The community managers would be able to take note of you and also give you the link to book the coaching session. And they are able to allow you have that coaching session because you have won it from this open day. But the only way to redeem it and the only way for the community managers to know is if you declare within those communities. So we encourage you to do that right now. This gift is limited to just one per individual. We've seen some community members saying, oh, I attended 10 open days. So does that mean I get 10 emigrate short coaching session? No, you still get that one and you can redeem it at any point in time. There's a second way to win yet another coaching session, which is an extra coaching session now, which is that download the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. If you are able to get a 7-day streak, a 7-day streak means that you open the app, you use the app every day for 7 days. You also will unlock an eMigr8 coaching session. And guess what? We have successes that all they've used within the eMigr8 platform were these free resources, and they were able to meet their objectives. Okay, so you're welcome again. And if you're watching the replay video, this also applies to you. Next question says, I also like to know if same requirement for UK Global Talent can be used for Australia, or are they completely different? They are very different in terms of the way they assess their own global talent. They are different. What I would say to you is that for the UK Global Talent, we have open days, 1 hour, 30-minute sessions where we've explained. For Australia Global Talent as well, we have open days, 1 hour, 30-minute sessions where we've brought in an Australian Global Talent who has also drilled down into that visa category. And also those global talents are available on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform where you can book a coaching session with them to help your journey. But the categories the criteria are different from each other. The UK Global Talent criteria is more similar to the US O1 visa criteria. And so we've said to many people, if you qualify for the UK Global Talent visa, you more than likely would qualify for the US O1 visa as well, with a bit of adjustment and maybe a little bit more work for you. But with the Australia Global Talent, they are more biased towards higher education and high salary. So you're welcome. Thank you, everyone. UK Global Talent, UK Global Talent, UK or Australia Global Talent. Well seen, well received. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Back to the questions. Can you explain? Okay, so next question says, I'm currently a master student in cybersecurity in the UK who has been in the field for, please hold on for a moment. Our time is almost up. So let's take out as many questions. We'll take all the questions that are in so far. I'm currently a master student in cybersecurity in the UK who has been in the field of cybersecurity for more than 5 years now. What can I do to secure and get endorsed for the UK Global Talent Visa? So if you've been in cybersecurity for 5 years, you likely have a lot of evidence already. Don't think of yourself as a student. It's a mistake a lot of people make. If you're saying that you have 5 years of experience in cybersecurity, you are not really, I mean, yes, you're in the UK currently studying, but you are probably a professional, you're probably an expert in your field. If you work for product-led digital technology companies, then you probably also have evidences that they are looking for the UK Global Talent Visa, probably. You have to be able to quantify the impact of your work. I come from a fintech background myself, and cybersecurity is one of the key areas where the impact is really great. The impact of not having any fraud on the platform is really great. So you need to be able to tell the story of why you are globally attractive. But bear in mind that cybersecurity, for example, you need to be able to show that if I line up 10 cybersecurity experts, I'm probably top 1, top 2, or maximum top 3. Do you also have the additional evidences that are needed? Right? Because you need to qualify under 3 out of 5 criteria, as I mentioned earlier. And these are things that you can discuss more with a coach during an eMigr8 short coaching session. So yeah, what are things that you can currently continue doing for you to secure? Put yourself out there, be more active in different communities, blog posts, discover a new way of exploit, for example, get a better ranking, find a new exploit, for example, and then document it and get it recognized by your peers. There are several things that you could possibly do if what you're doing is also building on top of an existing profile. Hopefully, I've helped a little, but yeah, we can discuss more during an eMigr8 coaching session. All right. Okay, next question says, can you explain the method if you worked in consulting? It depends, right? This is something you can discuss with a coach during an eMigr8 coaching session. What we're just saying is if you look carefully at the UK Global Talent Guide, you will find that they don't remove you if you've been doing consulting. Just go back to the technician visa guide and read it carefully. You'll find some exceptions that may be useful to you, but these are things that we can discuss more during an eMigr8 coaching session, whether the short ones, which are sometimes free, or a paid coaching session. Okay, if you get UK Global Talent Promise, for example, and you apply for 1 to 2 year visa due to the cost of IHS, can you extend earlier before you get closer to the expiry of your initial visa? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, but there are a bit of nuances to it that you need to think about. What we advise on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform is that apply for the maximum. The uncertainties for yourself and your dependents for renewing after you've gotten the endorsement and you've gotten the visa is not sometimes worth the stress. And we have community members that have done that, but it wasn't really worth the stress. Okay. In the case of one community member, I'm not naming names, so I think I'm safe to talk about it. I think January 2024, towards the end of 2023, the UK was going to double the cost of the IHS surcharge. It was going to double, right? And you never know, they may decide to double it again. Okay. And so a community member actually had to do that because what he had to do then was that he needed to now quickly extend his visa so that he wouldn't have to pay double the IHS surcharge. So that's why I know clearly that it is actually possible to do that. There are different reasons and different, you need to meet a couple of criteria to do that, but it's possible to do that. But if you can, don't put yourself under that stress. Just raise the money so that you know that you don't have to extend your visa until you are able to qualify for indefinite leave to remain. Most of our questions has been UK so far. So hopefully we have questions for other countries too. Okay. Somebody is saying answer is no. You are not allowed to apply until 28 days before the end of your leave. That's not absolutely correct, but we can discuss that in the community. That's not absolutely correct. The answer is actually you can. Actually, I've not worked in product-based company before, but I've worked in financial institutions. So there's no question there. It would then be, we've talked about quite a number of different visa opportunities today. There will be some that you already qualify for. There will be some that you can work towards qualifying for. We talked about some products like Labs by Bincom. So if you're interested in building startups, for example, or learning how to build startups, that's a program that could be useful for you. So there is not much of a question there. Right. Next question is, Will you need skills? Yeah, definitely. Will you need IELTS? So it's not IELTS, but you will need the skill assessment for the Australia Global Talent. It's part of the process for the Australia Global Talent. As I've mentioned, you can go through the a detailed open day that we've done around this particular visa opportunity. How do I prove that I've contributed in the tech community as required by one of the criteria? Um, There are different ways to prove that. And I believe that in the criteria that you're talking about, they will give examples of how you can do that. Last question I'll be taking today so that we can close this session. If you get UK Global Talent, can you extend? Oh, we've taken this question already. Okay, looks like you are not allowed to jump to the later. That's very cool. Okay, so I think somebody is responding on that. So thank you for that response as well. Okay, so thank you so much for everyone joining this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Hopefully this has been useful for you. Just to give a quick recap before we close the session, what we've been talking about is around what eMigr8 Tech Visa platform can do for you and help your journey towards relocation and settlement. We talked about quite a number of different visa opportunities available from different countries of the world: UK, US, Canada, France, Germany, Australia, and all of them have a lowest common denominator, which is that if you are globally attractive, you have options of the different options of these different visa opportunities for you to explore and possibly move with your family on. We talked about how the eMigr8 Tech Visa app can help your journey. It's a new app. We haven't really launched. What we've done is we have a beta version. It will be buggy, but let us know when you see bugs. But that version is going to be useful for your journey today. It contains information, eMigr8 tasks, eMigr8 coaching booking, and several other things that you are able to do using that app, particularly if you're on a do-it-yourself approach towards this journey. We are here to support you. A lot of free resources are available. And then, of course, if you are interested in paying a premium, or you're interested in something a little more, then you could pay a premium for some of our premium services as well. I'll mention the eMigr8 Circle community. So we do have a premium community that is an annual subscription basis that you may want to join. That gives you a little more access to some of our coaches as well. So if it's a do-it-yourself approach you're taking, that may be absolutely useful for you as well. But we're here to help. I'll just say to everyone on the call, we've seen that within the eMigr8 community, there are 5 categories generally that we've so far identified of people within the eMigr8 community. And I'll just speak briefly to each one of those categories as we close this session. We've got the beginners, the intermediate, and advanced people in the field of technology. We've got people that have moved but not yet on a pathway to settlement. And we've got people that are interested in applying immediately for one visa or the other. If you're a beginner in the room, what we've talked to you about today is an expose of what your profile needs to look like within the next couple of years. Make sure that in addition to you building your skill, you're also building experience and exposure to ensure that you will qualify within the shortest possible time, based on the criteria that you already know about today. If you are intermediate in the room, in terms of your skill level, what you should be doing is do a self-assessment and build a roadmap for yourself. Build a roadmap to say, I've done an assessment, I'm targeting this particular visa, or maybe 2 or 3 of these visa opportunity, and these are the things that I do not yet have. And all of a sudden, because you have a roadmap and you're looking and you're working towards some of these opportunities, you start paying attention to things. An analogy I've given before, and I'll just give again, is that if I asked you to say, how many blue cars did you see today? You probably wouldn't know because you weren't keeping track. But if I said to you that tomorrow, if you are able to give me an accurate number of blue cars that you saw tomorrow, you will get $1 million. Many of us will pay attention and you will give me an accurate number of blue cars that you saw. It's the same thing with the journey of your career. It's the same thing with the journey of you becoming globally attractive. Because now that you know what you're working towards, you will consciously work towards it. When opportunities come, when things come that you can volunteer for, you now recognize them as this is the pathway to my destiny. And so, roadmap, take action, do your research, understand what is needed, find as much information as possible from now. A number of us and a number of coaches have talked about this before to say some of the things that ended up useful for them, they were just doing it. They're not because they were targeting anything. It was just something they did naturally. And that's fine. Those things that come to you naturally, please do. But then if you are a bit more strategic, maybe you would be further along. And that's what we are talking about on this platform. If you're advanced, some of these opportunities are open today, and you probably are qualified for them today. In the future, you may not be qualified. For example, with the UK Global Talent Visa, for exceptional talent, they only consider the things you did within the last 5 years. So by next year, things you did 5 years ago will no longer count. By 2 years' time, the things that you did 4 years ago will no longer count. My point is that make hay while the sun shines. The opportunities are available today. In some cases, they may be closed. There are some visa opportunities that we talked about on this platform 2 years ago, last year, that are no longer open today. What we are saying is that start looking at what you need to do. There are people that actually get some of the opportunities and don't use it, but that's a different conversation. My point, however, is if you're advanced, start your journey immediately. And we are here to help. For those not yet in a pathway to settlement, and I will use the UK because we have a number of community members in the UK. So UK students and UK post-study visa, people on UK student visa and UK post-study visa, not yet on a pathway to settlement. You have multiple options available to you. We talk about 4 of them on the eMigr8 visa platform, but many of those options need you to plan and start spending time towards it. What you don't want to do is wait till 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month. And we see a few people coming at that time, 1 month to your visa expiry, and then you are looking for how you will qualify. You weren't already building a profile. You weren't already qualified. There's not much we can do on this platform for you. What you want to do is that now that you know what your profile needs to look like, start building towards it. And there are different options. The self-sponsorship is one new option we've added, but there are other options that we've spoken about on this platform. And if you are ready to apply, we are here to help. We do have premium services, but we have free services available to help you as well. Where you start from is you can book a coaching session with one of the eMigr8 coaches, and they're able to help give you direction. One of the ones that is very interesting, but it's what it is a number of people decide to go apply for the UK Global Talent Visa. They get rejected. And then after they get rejected is when they come on the eMigr8 visa platform. So they wasted money because there are some things they will have found out earlier than later. But that's fine. Whichever way that you choose to do it, that's fine. Just know that this platform is available and is here to help you. If you haven't done so already, what you should do is download the eMigr8 Visa app, and that's where the journey starts from. You'll find the app at emigrate8visa.com/techvisa. I'll take that again, emigrate8visa.com/techvisa. eMigr8 is spelled EMIGR with the number 8, EMIGR8, visa.com/techvisa. And you can download the app and start your journey today. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us during this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Was this useful for you? Please give us feedback. Let us know. You can drop a chat here. You can drop a comment if you're watching the replay video. Let us know if this was useful. This feedback is part of why we continue doing this, because we're getting feedback from you to say this is useful. If you didn't find it useful as well, let us know. It's good feedback, whichever way. You can also let us know within the eMigr8 community if this was useful for you, and let us know how we can help practically. Wishing you the very best in your journey. Thank you.